What is up, woke family? It's your boy Woke Bucks, and I'm back again with another live stream. So the topic that I'll be discussing in this video today is in regards to interracial dating and black men basically reacting to black women's issues when it comes to them stepping outside of their race to date other women. Right. So we're gonna get into this live stream right now. So yeah, I'm gonna see it pop up on the screen in a couple of seconds, but yeah, we're gonna get into it, man, for sure. All right, let's get into it.
What's up, everyone? Shamika Sanders, host of Listen to Black Women here. We brought in a group of black men to discuss and respond to the advice, commentary, and wisdom offered from one of our episodes of Listen to Black Women.
I don't like to use the word hurt because I feel that puts too much weight on it. Personally, I am not that sad or affected when I see a black man with a woman of another race, unless he's very fine. And she is not.
See, she just
what
capped
I
right now,
think
bro.
is, a good match. But I do question a lot of their choices because when pressed or asked about it, a lot of them have really lame excuses. Like Michael did the whole thing about milk flavors, and I was just like,
so weird.
Right, like just say you like what you like and this is not it or this is it.
My problem with it is that I feel like Michael B. Jordan's fan base has been built on the backs of black women. And now he's afraid that he's going to lose his audience. So now he's clamoring and he's all these milk analogies and it's really strange. But we see this so often in Hollywood.
Yeah, and we're seeing right through it because all of those types of explanations, they just read as superficial and inauthentic.
So superficial.
It's like, just own it, brother.
Africa Miranda's point about she's not going to live her life kind of identifying a black man is dating a white woman. Oh my God, travesty, right? Agreed. But I think that a lot of the black women that I know, a lot of my black female friends who are single, are faced with an issue of what's out there, what's in their purview as being true prime opportunities with black men. And so in the instance that you see a black man that you could have dating a white woman, it's kind of like, oh, that brother would have been good for me, and he went with a white girl? Oh, and so it really does feel like sabotage. It kind of feels like you just straight up just took an opportunity away from me, and I think that is an issue that we need to address.
I think the point about Michael B. Jordan was really interesting too, about him building his reputation and his fame on the backs of black women, and I think it is a very precarious predicament for him to be in, only because it's like, now he feels obliged to have to make an excuse. He can't just say, I enjoy dating white women. I think the interesting thing about preference is that it doesn't really affect anyone except for the individual. I understand historically that a lot of, what is seen as the black plight is the loss of the black family. But when does that become every individual's responsibility to say, okay, I have to put what I may innately prefer aside to fulfill this larger purpose? And so I think it's something to be said about, just the pressures of what is expected of the black man and what he's supposed to do and how he's treated if he was to come out and say, yeah, I prefer to date white women. There's a lot of backlash for that.
And so I want us to finish a thought, if we may. So when black men listen to black women on the topic of interracial dating,
I feel that their specific perspective and the life events that they have lived through grant them a right to their opinion. I think it's very different from what I've lived through and what I've seen and my whole perception of the situation, but it's equally valued, and I think there's some merit to it.
when black men listen to black women on the topic of interracial dating, blank.
They often get defensive and feel guilty. To be totally honest with you, I think when a black woman presents and says, when black men date white women, I don't get it. I don't understand. You're not valuing yourself and who you come from. And if you've dated a white woman, you sit down there and say, dang, is that true? No. You start to think and calculate and see if that's the case. And then you come up with a response. It's unfortunate that is the case. But the fact of the matter is that when we hear our sisters give their opinions on it, sometimes we can become enlightened, but oftentimes we become defensive.
What can we do, both men and women, to start to address this, right? What can women do to feel less bothered by these trends? And what can men do, black men, to try to listen to black women a little bit more and hold space for them?
I think the key to any problem, the first step is dialogue. There needs to be that conversation. There can't be these feelings of disdain and anger and hurt, and you just keep it bottled inside. I don't think that's the solution in any situation. I think it's best that we have these conversations with each other. We put our prides aside. We try to remove the emotionality from it, and we hear what people are thinking. And furthermore, I think if you speak to a black man as a black woman, and you say, why do you date white women? And he says, this is all I want to date, then you probably saved yourself and dodged a bullet. You wouldn't want someone who could be so ignorant to think that.
All right, we're going to get into this situation right now. All right, so as unfortunate as this is to say, this is the reality of the situation. When it comes to black men, listen to me carefully. When it comes to black men dating outside of their race, it is always met with some type of contempt because the black man chooses that he does not want to date black women. Now, am I saying that black men shouldn't date black women? No. If you're a black man and you love black women, deal with black women, date black women, women that appreciate you especially. You feel what I'm saying? But when the roles are reversed and it's a black woman dating a white man, you're not going to see black men say anything because black men don't care. Most black men don't care. Right? But when it comes to black women seeing us date white women or seeing other black men date white women, they feel some type of way about it. And it's like, there is a reason to an extent why black men date outside of their race, right? For starters, let's say that black man probably wasn't accepted by the black community, right? Like, he's obviously black in complexion, right? Dark skin, light skin, brown skin, whatever. But he wasn't really accepted, you feel what I'm saying? By black women, right? He wasn't hood enough. He wasn't thuggish enough. You know what I'm saying? So probably he found more peace with Spanish women. He found more peace with white women. He found more peace with Asian women. And if that's what he wants to go for, there's no problem with it because that's his preference. That's what he prefers. Now, the second thing is when you didn't really grow up around a lot of black women, even though you're going to be like, your mom is black, your dad is black. That's fair, but that's not really growing up around a lot of black women, right? You only grew up around probably one or two people. Because think about it, right? From when you're a little kid, the majority of women you grew up from or grew up around are, other than the household, majority of the time is in school. So if you're not really seeing a lot of black women, it's going to be hard for you to make that your preference, despite obviously the ongoing rise of social media. But those women that you're seeing on social media that are black women, they might not even be close to you for you to even engage in conversation with. You know what I'm saying? So there are so many different aspects in which one could literally look at it from. But I think it's going to take us as a community to really have more of an open mind when it comes to being able to deal with people that are outside of your race. Now, if one were to ask me, do I date black women? 100%. You can be dark skinned, you can be light skinned, you can be brown. I love black women, right? But the reality of the situation is that a lot of black women believe that it's only best for black men to deal with them, especially when they don't give that man their best of the best. They give that best of the best to Chad. They give that best of the best to Tyrone. Not every single black dude that you're going to meet is going to have some type of hood in him. You have to understand that. So it's like, you can't expect him to give you the best of the best if you're not even respecting him for being the man that he is. Especially if he's a man that's on his masculine principles, especially if he's a man that's trying to level up himself, trying to make himself to become the greatest version. If you don't show him that femininity, if you don't show him that submission, if you don't show him that non-combativeness, it's going to be very, very hard for him to put himself in a position to want to even deal with you, especially if he has access to you, right? And is that to say that white women don't act combative? No. I'm not saying that white women don't act combative, but the general stigma of black women acting very combative comes from, like I said, social media, comes from black men in their own experience dealing with women that they didn't find them to be hood enough and were always giving them attitude and not giving them the time of the day. Now, when they go to different races, they also get shamed. So it's really a delicate balance between the things that I just mentioned. And you have to determine what you want to do, especially as a black man, especially as a man. You know what I'm saying? Now let's get back into this video, man. Hold on, guys. I think the video might be done. We're gonna have to bring it back. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I think the video's done. So, like I said, man, it's literally a delicate balance between the two. One has to really decide what they want to do, and then from there move accordingly. You feel what I'm saying? But if it's a matter of whether men should get shamed for what they prefer, I say no. I don't think men should be shamed for that, especially black men. And it's just literally a matter of what that man prefers. And the people that are around him, they literally need to learn how to appreciate him for what he brings to the table. Right? We as a community really have to stop getting offended by people's preferences, right? If he prefers to be with white women, that's his preference. Right? You have to understand that in this world, there are gonna be people that are gonna be meant to be with you, and people that are not going to be meant to be with you. And the people that are meant to be with you, you gotta embrace those people. You feel what I'm saying? Don't be pissed, don't be mad, don't be angry. It is what it is. Just learn how to move accordingly and don't get pissed. Try to level up yourself, make yourself into the greatest version of yourself so that you can put yourself in a position to deal with people that actually appreciate you for who you are. But you're not going to see that happen if you're not leveling up. You're not going to see that happening if you're not putting yourself in a position of greatness. So put yourself in that position and embrace the people who choose to embrace you. If you understand, it's because you're woke. If you don't understand, you're not woke. This is going to be in this live stream. If you like this live stream, make sure you go spam that like button, leave comments, share this live stream with your friends, subscribe to the channel at WokeEbucks, WOKEEBUKS. Tap the notification bell to get all the latest videos that I post. Patreon link will be down in the description below and some social media links. So make sure you go give those a check. But without further ado, this is going to be the end of this live stream. This is WokeEbucks, and I'm out, man.